I am so sorry, y'all. Let me see if I can find the group. Hold on. There. Okay. I think we got it. Okay. It's thinking about it. All right. Okay, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. We kind of were running a little late. I wanted them to be able to finish their project. Okay. We ended up going on about 15 minutes late because I just could not get the program to work right. Okay. So I know I told y'all we were going to do the joy, but I kind of changed my mind today because I went to Carolina Pottery to get a couple things, and I totally had a moment. So, we are going to do something different. Okay, so several months ago, I showed y'all how to put the cotton wreath, the pre-made cotton wreath on the grapevine, right? Well, today we are going to do something a little different. I had gotten some ribbon out, and I think I decided what I want to use. All right. So whenever I go to the Sims pottery shows, they always have these really great ideas. And one of the ideas they had was to nestle a wreath inside another one. So that's kind of where I got the idea for the cotton. But the one that they actually did when I was there, hello, was to put a magnolia wreath inside an evergreen. And I was at Sims today, and I saw they had done something with this, not with an evergreen, but it reminded me, and I thought, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So we're going to do my version of it. All right. So I just have an evergreen here. All right, so let me take this off so I can tell you about it. I did find a garland, so we're gonna be doing that probably next. Okay, so this one is a 24-inch Canadian pine, and it's 160 tips. All right, so the number on it is CVWO24ELV. So Sims Pottery. And what I like to do is I will pull out all of the little points on it. It is an elevated base. Okay, so you can see it has one layer that is higher than the other layer. So 2 layers, one's higher. That's an elevated base. Okay. So I'll pull these out. Okay. You never want to start from a flat base. Although there are a few times when I will, but most of the time it's like pulling out those Christmas trees, right? When you pull out those Christmas trees, you have to get all of the little pine pieces up. Alright. So that's what we're going to do now. Quickly just go through and pull these out. You know what? I could. We're going to move some of this over so it's not kind of blocking your view, and I can kind of zoom in a little bit. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's zoom in here. All right. So I'm just kind of opening up my base, and we're actually going to use this piece. I don't know why this isn't coming up. I can't really see comments. Hold on, I'm trying to get it to come up. We're going to use the actual pine pieces to tie in our magnolia leaves. So if you cannot find something like this where the magnolia is all together, you can get picks of magnolia leaves. If you wanted to make it a different color, you can actually spray paint the magnolia leaves. I know Hobby Lobby sells them in gold, silver. Hi! So, this is going to be kind of a rustic, but these are super popular. And they're pretty easy to make. So I thought we'd go through this. Adding in the magnolia leaves, we'll save that one, just kind of adds an extra layer to it. All right, Facebook. There we go. I don't know why I'm having trouble getting it to come up. I might have to pull out my phone. All right. So I'm just pulling these up. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just want them standing up. Hello. Okay. Here we go. All right, we got it. So that's good. So you see I kind of have them all pulled out. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let me get my phone. All right. Hi. Let me see if I can get it to come up on my phone, because it is stinking not coming up on my computer here, my iPad. Okay. Okay, now I got it. Let's turn this down there. Okay, now I can see. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. So we're going to take this. So this is a magnolia wreath all by itself, okay? You can get these. You can get these at Hobby Lobby and stuff, but they're a lot cheaper at Sims. It's a 24-inch magnolia leaf. It's CG716. So I will take this, and I'm going to use these pine pieces, and I am going to nestle it down and tie it in, okay? So that's one of the reasons that we want to open our base up, is because we want, so we're going to hide the fact that we're adding in another wreath, okay? Okay. So I'm going to do both sides like this. All right, I have a piece that came off. I'll just put it back on. So I'm just taking it, I'm just tying it down and twisting it one good time with my little pine pieces. Okay? Like that. So I want to make sure it is nice and tight on that base. It is. Alright. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these pieces and we're going to start moving them in between some of our pine pieces so that it doesn't look like, whoop. So if I have one that pops off, I'll put a tiny bit of glue on it and stick it back on. Alright. So what you want to do is you want to move them around. Okay, so if I have too many leaves in one place, I'll pull them off. Okay. And I will move them somewhere else. So if I have like 3 leaves like this, I'm going to pull that off. I don't want it to take over. I want it to enhance. Alright. So I'm going to take pieces off. And we're going to put them on this bottom layer. So we want it to look like it's part. So you see here where it has like a whole bunch of leaves together. I'll grab that, pull it off, and then I'll start kind of moving these around. It's okay if you turn them so that they're not all the same. Okay. So I don't worry about it too much because we are going to be adding a lot of extra stuff in here. But I don't like it when it looks like there's leaves like all in the middle and they're not along the sides. So I will take pieces off. Okay. Start pulling them. So wherever I see there's too many pieces, I'll pull them out. Okay, like here. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces, I'm going to run them in the glue, and I'm going to glue it right to the pine pieces on the bottom. Okay, so I want it to not look like, I don't want it to look like I added a second wreath into a first wreath. I kind of want it to look like I intentionally did it that way. So let's see if I can see what is going on these comments. Y'all, I don't know what's wrong with my little iPad. I know, right, Mama? Don't you love these? Okay, we're going to add a lot of fun stuff to it, too. So you see how I'm just taking leaves, and like every so often, I'm taking them, and I'm putting them right into the pine. They'll glue right into the pine. Okay? Well, I'm glad you're loving it already because we aren't even remotely close to being done. Okay. Just kind of put them in. You want them all going in the same direction, so that's very important. As you are gluing them in, make sure you're paying attention to which direction they're being directed in. You want them to go right in line with the pieces that are on the top, okay? Alright. And what this does is this makes it look more like an intentional design and not, oh, I threw this on top of this one. Okay. And the great thing about evergreens is they take the glue like crazy. I think I need to up this a little bit. Okay, so they glue very nicely. Oh, isn't that cute? All right, so let's see. We'll put this one right in here. Okay, and then we're going to start on the next piece. Okay, so we have our leaf pieces in. So you can see, you see how since we put them on the bottom, it looks more like it's all throughout the design instead of just laying on the top. It's perfectly fine to turn some leaves over. Okay, in nature, they're not all going to be going the same direction. That's okay. So if they're turning in the wrong direction, don't worry about it. So how y'all doing tonight? I'm sorry we're a little bit late. We had a lot of trouble tonight. So Sue and Connie were doing a live, and I could not get it to go on Facebook. Nothing I did would make it go on Facebook, so we went to YouTube. They were the first cubbies on my YouTube channel. How about it? Alright, so I want to use some hydrangeas, and I love these hydrangeas. These hydrangeas came from Hobby Lobby. They came in a bunch, and I've already used some. Let's see. Actually, these came from, oh no wait, these came from Sims Pottery. Okay, so it is a 8 bunch satin hydrangea, and it is CS 312S. All right. These little things like to come off. So what I will do is find where it fell off of. So like right here. And I will put a tiny little bit of glue on it. And I'll put this back on. So sometimes when they make these bunches, they don't glue the pieces on correctly. Ooh, this one doesn't want to go on. Okay, hold on. So you kind of have to glue them back on. So you're not going to see that part. Alright, so I have 2 bunches. Alright, I don't want to use a whole bunch of these. If you can't find hydrangeas, you can use anything that you like that's a flower in red. So if you can't find hydrangeas, or you could use white. So if you don't want to use red, you can use white. I'm going to cut these off. We're going to make our bow. And then we're going to start putting things in. All right. I like to see how many pieces I have before I start my bow. We're only going to use the hydrangea parts. Alright, we are not going to use the leaves. So I'll just trim these off. I love these, but you see how they like to fall off. Which is not going to be a big deal because we're going to put them in bunches together. And put them in. But first I have to see how many we have so I can see what we're working with. Hello! How are y'all tonight? I'm sorry we're late. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we have all of our hydrangeas. And what we'll do, I just wanted to use 2 bushes. So when you're doing something like this, you want to try to get away with not using as much of the more expensive pieces. It just kind of helps you because you're already going to be investing in the evergreen and the magnolia leaves. So you don't want to spend a ton on hydrangeas. Okay, so we're going to do our bow. So let me show you. Oh, I found a leaf. There's more hydrangea. Alright, I'm going to show you the ribbon we're going to be using. This is what I was thinking we could use. Alright. So this is the one I was thinking of using. Okay, it is double-sided. One side is like a flannel, and the other side is more like a canvas. That's what I was thinking about using. We could use the buffalo plaid. I kind of want to do the red and green, which is kind of why I went in that direction. We also have the Sam's ribbon, and it has the buffalo plaid with the deer. Now, I had an idea. If you wanted to do the buffalo plaid with the deer, this is where my inspiration came from, y'all. You can get the deer antlers, and you can put the deer antlers in alongside the bow. Because how many people like the hunting theme? Too many. Alright, so do you have a preference for the ribbon? Red and green? Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. I like the red and green. Alright, let me put this up here so I can see what y'all are saying. I don't know why my iPad won't work. Come on, iPad. See if I can get it to work this way. I like to be able to see y'all's comments bigger. So what do we think? Oh, I did have another one. I also have this ribbon. So this is a holly ribbon. I like the red and green as well. I wanted something that was red and green. I had thought about this one, but I don't really like the holly with the magnolia. But I did think it would be fun if you did, if you did one like this, if you did a buffalo and added in the antlers. Just kind of an idea of what you can do. So let's do the red and green. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to do 6-inch, we're going to do 7 6-inch loops. We are not going to start with tails. Okay. So we're going to start a loop. Let's see, this is 6-inch. Yep. All right. So what you're doing is you're making a figure 8, right? We're doing the in between our hands. Okay, we just pull it up, make sure it matches. So remember, you're doing a figure 8. So on this side, you're going underneath. Okay. You're putting it in between your hand and your finger. And on this side, you're going over. I'm just putting it, I'm pushing it, stacking it inside there in my hand. I am not putting it on top or bottom. I'm strictly just sticking it in there. So, towards my body, it's going under. Okay. And all you have to do is make sure it matches on the one on the side. You just kind of shoving it inside your finger and thumb. So we have 5. Away from my body, it's going to come across the top. So this is the easiest bow you can make because you are not twisting. We do want to have an odd number in this case. So just going to make sure it matches the other ones. Yes, it does. All right, now, here's something we haven't done before, but we're going to do today. All right. This one looks a little small. Okay. We're going to go ahead and make our tails. All right, so you have it gripped in your hand like this. You're going to take it. We're going to make a small tail and a large tail. We're going to take our large tail first. So I'm going to bring it all the way across my arms like this. This is about a yard, maybe a tiny bit more. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right up inside there so you can see. All right. We just have a big long loop here. So it should be around a half a yard. Okay. You have a hard time making this kind of bow? Hey, you know what? You can make it in your bow maker. That's okay too. It's just a 6-inch bow with 7 loops. Then we did a smaller loop. All right, and there's a good chance we'll cut this, but for right now, we're not going to worry about it. All right. What did I do? Oh, here it is. So I'm going to take my zip tie, and I'm just going to go around it. So I'll just take it out of my hand. I'm going to go around it. Okay, just like that. Okay. Before I get it completely tied, we're going to put a wire in there. Okay. All right, and we're going to trim this piece off. About 10-12 inches. I'm not too worried about that right now because there's a really good chance we'll be trimming all this. All right. I will grab some floral wire. Let's see, this is 26 gauge in the green. Yeah, it's just a nice loose bow, okay? That's all you need for this project. So 7 6-inch loops. Whichever way is easier for you to make it, make it. Even if you're using a bow maker, you can still make these giant loops for the tails. Okay, I've got my wire in. I put it in where my zip tie is. And now I will tighten that zip tie down. Okay, you can also use really thick wire. So you can get the thick wire that comes in the long, it's already cut. So we cut this. We cut this right in half. And we already have all of our tails. Okay? I like to do that. I like to use the zip ties because it can just get so much tighter than my hands. And there is nothing more frustrating than having your bow come apart after you've made it. And I had a lot of problems with that because my hands would hurt if I made them too tight. So I use my zip ties. Okay, so I'm just taking it. I'm just going to pick a place. So we'll start up here. I'm going to tie it on the top section. So remember, there's two pieces here. So you can see the elevated base here. That's where we're going to tie it on. So I'm going to tie it right there. As soon as I find that other piece of wire. There it is. Alright. So I'm going to tie it in. I want it to kind of sit inside the wreath, which is really kind of unusual, but for this design, that's what you want. Oh, let's see if we can get the thing up now. Oh. So I'm just kind of looping it around a little bit, and then we're going to cut it off. Okay. Alright, so throw away the excess. Alright, now you want to move your bow pieces around, okay? Alright, like that. Okay, so this is a loopy bow, but we're going to put some stuff inside it, so don't worry too much about the bow. I still can't get it to come up. Okay. Now let's deal with these pieces first. Alright. So this is our little tails, okay? And there are several things you can do. I like to take one and bring it up to the top like this, okay? And we are going to dovetail it, trim it off. Alright, so we have one coming out the top, just like that. So that's probably about 6 inches, maybe 8. Alright. So you want this loopy bow. Remember, the material that you work with here, you want it to be kind of rustic. And so with the rustic, you don't want that bow to be, you know, like our traditional bows, right? Okay. So with these, with the ones in the middle, let's see. So there, you could either take them and curl them up. So let's curl it up and see how this ribbon does with that. So this is kind of a flannel ribbon, so it may or may not like to do the curly. Here we go. Alright. If you ever have trouble with your bow, when you're using an evergreen, you can use some of the evergreen picks to kind of make your bow stand up, okay? I don't want to do that. I kind of want this to be floppy. So it looks okay. It did pretty well with curl. With these, what I like to do is take them and kind of make a little loop, and we're going to tie it off right with the evergreen, okay? And then just have this piece, and we're going to trim it. Just make a little dovetail. All right. There we go. we got one side. So when you're working with a wreath like this, you always want to work from the biggest element, which of course is our bow, down to the smallest. So that's why we're doing our bow first. It makes it easier as you're designing the wreath to start with that big element. Okay. Whoop. Wait. I did do it wrong. I knew I was doing that. Okay. There we go. I'm thinking, okay, which way do I need to cut it? All right. So we have the basic down. I'm going to show you some of the things we're going to be putting in this. Okay. So this is our beginning. Oh, I want this one to go over here a little bit. Hold on. I don't like where that is. Needs to go more over here. Okay. There we go. That's better. All right. There we go. I don't want to stand up too much. There we go. All right. So we're going to be adding in red hydrangeas. You can use white as an alternative. So if you can't find red, you can use white. Or green. You could use green, although I think the green might kind of blend in a little bit. I've got several different kinds of berries. So I have some little tiny wispy berries. I have some berries that have like a little bit of sparkle on them, almost like snow. I have the bead berries. Y'all know I love this stuff, right? I love this stuff. It's my favorite thing, it seems. Okay, so beadberry. All right, and then we're going to add in, look at these. So Sims has these. I got a whole bag of them. These are the little wood balls. Look at those. And they come with this little stem on them. So it just makes it so much easier to put it on here. Okay, so these are 80 millimeter rattan ball pick, and the number is CP391. Okay, so we're working with a rustic. So when you're working with a rustic, you want natural elements. So we have our rattan ball, and these actually came from Craft Outlet. So these are, you know, little, oh my gosh, why did the name just fly out of my mind? Pine cones. And they actually are on, so these are really made to use on a wreath, but I like them. So when you're using something like this, you never want to get these out of your yard because they could have bugs or whatever in them. Hey Rita, did you have time to get your stuff done? All right, so we're going to alternate pine cones and these little rattan picks, okay? So we're going to have a lot of red, the little bit of white kind of peeking out, and then our natural elements. So that's kind of what, you're in the car? I bet you are missing it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start. So remember I said you start with your biggest element first. Oh, and I was thinking we could even add in our little ornaments that we made. So I'm going to kind of keep that on the back burner because I want to try to see if we can figure out where to put those in. All right, so we have a lot of the magnolia leaves going on right now. I pulled one out. All right, so I want to kind of start to break some of this up. So what I will do is I will take, y'all seriously, they keep dropping. I will take my little leaves here, my little flowers, and I'm gonna break it up. I want 5 different pieces, okay? So I'm gonna put let's see. That's 2. I'm going to split it up and just see what I can put together to make 5 pieces. So this is kind of what I do. When I have not as much as I would like, I will split it up and kind of divide it evenly like this. Okay. There we go. Alright, so then I will take my pieces. Whoop, this one's missing a... Hey, honey. Can you come here? Well, I don't know if you can get back there. Oh, never mind. I think I can get it here. Thank you, honey. Oh, you gotta give the puppy a kiss. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to steal from this pick over here. I'm going to steal this piece. Alright, so I'm doing that so that I can put some of these pieces on a stick. Okay. It's a little bit easier if you can put them on a stick. Alright. Alright, so we have our little piece. We don't want it to be too long. So we're going to trim it, and then we'll save these little pieces for ones that we need. So we're going to take this, we're going to put some glue on it. So get glue on it. And we're going to start right back here and put a bunch in. Okay, so there's our bunch right there. And then when you're designing like this, what you need to do is you need to either do a cross or you need to do a triangle. So you want to balance it. So if I come up here, I want to come down here. So I'll get a couple more pieces. Alright. These are missing stems. So we'll just put a little bit. You just need enough to glue onto. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Because it happens. Sometimes these pieces come together and they just don't have enough stem. Alright. And no one will ever know that these pieces did not come together in a stem. Okay? So this is how you do that when you don't have a whole stem. And I just take it. I'll get glue on all these pieces at the same time. Okay? And I'm going to go all the way across and I'm going to glue it in right down here. So I'm gluing it pretty much where I put that ribbon. Alright, so we have one here, one here. Okay, now we're going to put one. Wait, maybe I can do this one. We're going to go the opposite side. Oh, the joys of having to make bunches. But you know what? You work with what you have instead of having to go out and spend money to get a bunch of new stuff. Right? Oh no, does it keep kicking you out? I don't know what is up with Facebook today. We tried so hard to go live on Facebook and we just could not do it. Alright, so now I want to go down here at the bottom and I'm going to put it also near where that little ribbon is, except on this side okay. So see, I'm just getting a little stick on there. Okay. Take our little bunch, and we're going to actually put it more towards the inside here. Okay? So right in there. Right underneath where that ribbon is. Okay? There we go. Right there. Then we're going to take one. So all we're really doing is kind of spreading these out so that they're not all scrunched up in the same little place. Alright. Oh, I have little pieces falling out. I didn't know I had that much. Okay. We're going to take this one. We might beef these up a little bit. And I'm going to put it right down here at the bottom. Alright, now let me show you what we did. So if I haven't talked to you about making the triangles, this is what I'm doing. So I have a triangle here. I have a triangle here. Alright, so making a triangle when you're doing designs really helps. You could also take another batch and we can put it up here. That also makes a triangle. So when you're making a triangle, you do not have to have everything in line. It's okay to make several triangles out of the same pieces. And I think that's where people get off when they're working on triangles. And the reason that you do triangles is because it helps to make balance in your piece. Okay. Alright, so now we have one here, 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 and here. Okay, I think we have enough, so I probably won't use these unless I see that I need them later. Alright. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our next biggest piece in. And that's going to be our little balls. Okay. This one looks a little wonky. Just kind of move it around. So if you have pieces that are big enough, you can just put one piece in. If you have, let's move that. Okay. If you have a piece that's not large enough, so see, it's kind of hard to see this. So what you can do is you can put two in. Okay, in the same spot. Just kind of make it a double. Alright, so we'll take these two. I'm going to take this little tag off. I don't think we need that. Alright. So we'll just trim this off a little bit. And I'm going to put these pretty near where I have flowers. Where I have my little flowers. Okay? And the great thing about the evergreens is so easy to glue things in. You just glue them right into the evergreen. Let's make sure we have it gluing to evergreen. If yours don't come with sticks on them, then you can use the evergreen to tie it in. Alright, so we did two there. Now we're going to take one of our little pine cones and I'm going to put it in with our little rattan balls. Alright, now glue that in. That kind of makes a little three-piece. You see that? Okay. So let's do the next one over here. Ah! My piece came out. Let's see if I can get it back in. Okay. Alright, we'll let that glue for a minute. We'll work on the next one. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm just trimming them off. Okay. I'm going to put this in between these two. All right. Okay. Right there, like that. And then we will take, I don't know what to do with it. I probably dropped it. Okay, we'll take another one of the pine cones. I'm just putting glue right on it, and I'm going to put it in right here. So you see there, so we're making a little bunch. Okay? Haha, there it is. I know, I wish I could go. I'm so jealous. I have to take my dad back to the dentist in the morning. So that will not be my fate. Carl, you should do a live while you're there. Okay, so I'm going to put this one in between these two. And there. All right. One inside here. Okay. And then this piece we'll put right inside there. There we go. So you see how we're kind of making little bunches? And then you can restretch your ribbon. Okay. Alright, so I also want to do some natural elements up here. You don't want to leave that out. This will appeal to the group of people who like the natural type wreaths. Okay. Just kind of putting it right up here. Okay. Then we'll take our... So I'm putting it in bunches of threes. Now you don't have to put it in bunches of threes. If you want to just do two, that's okay too. Okay, so we have one there. Alright, make sure that's glued in there. Yep. Okay. I think we will do, I don't want to do a whole bunch up here. I think I'll do one up here. Or maybe we'll do pine cone. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to do a pine cone. Okay. Just kind of glue it right in there. So you always want to involve your bow. That kind of helps to make everything blend together. Okay. Okay. So you see how we're looking so far? Okay. Now, we're done with this element. Now we're going to start adding in berries. And I want to use these little flowy berries near the bow. The long piece at least. Okay, so I'm going to take this long piece out right here. All right. And I'm going to put it right under the bow, right up here, and have it kind of coming out here. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, there it is. All right, so let's grab a piece for the other side. Okay, I'm just pulling this apart. Okay. And then what we can do is put it in different places. So cut some of this off. Okay. I'm going to put it over here on this side. So you see how it's kind of hanging off? We might want to put a little bit longer piece over here. Okay. There we go. All right, now I have several different types of the little beads. I was hoping to use a bunch of these, but when I went to Sims, they didn't have very many. I mean, Carolina Pottery. They didn't have very many, so we're just going to improvise. Yes, you did. They both did great. All right. So we're going to break these apart. Okay. So we want to get a little bit of red around where our natural elements are, and then we're going to add some white in. So the white's going to kind of start to brighten it up, because as you can see, it's very dark right now. And that is okay. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of this around the bow. So whenever you add a new element into your piece, you always want to put some around your bow. That helps to kind of tie it in. We're also going to put some white around it. Alright, so let's use up some of this. I am making a rustic wreath. Okay, so put some of this in right down here. I like it to kind of see how it's coming up from the project. That's what you want it to do. Ooh, this is cute. Let's put some of this in. Okay. Yep. So all you're doing is adding some pop of color near where your natural pieces are. So that just kind of helps break it up. Alright. Let's see. I'm going to cut this one so we can use more of it. Okay. So we'll put this one down where that piece is. Alright, and we'll put this one right in here. So you seeing how we're getting all the red in? Alright. Ooh, we still have a nice piece. Okay. So we're going to cut this up. Let's put this one. Yes. Alright, so we're going to put this one here, kind of coming up in the middle a little bit. We have a long piece. We're going to put this one. I think I'm going to have to cut some of those, but we'll see. Just leave it up here for now. We're going to put this one coming right down the middle under the bow. Okay, so it's not going to be very easy to be seen, but they will see it a little. I don't know if I like those or not. I don't know if I like these or not. I think we might cut those. Let's trim those off. Yeah. I knew I was cutting that wrong. See, I'm not used to cutting this way. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's better. That's better. Let's trim this one off too. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we can see a little better. I like that better. Okay. So you see where we're at so far? Isn't that pretty? Alright, so I can see we need a little bit of red down at the bottom. Right down here we need some red. So let's put some of this in. Okay, or some of this. I like this. Let's do this. Alright. Okay, so I don't want it to go too far beyond. But we're going to put a few of these in. You want it to come away from the surface that you're working on, so don't be afraid if you're kind of coming off the base. It was something I kind of fought in the beginning. I kept thinking I needed to be inside this little bubble. Don't be inside your bubble. Go outside your bubble. Alright, so you can see we're all going in the same direction. So very important as you're working around, keep it going in the same direction. Put some over here. Okay, so you just want to get little pops of color in here. If you see you have too many leaves, you can pull one out like that. Don't be afraid to do that. Save your leaves. You can use them in other things. Okay. Let's add a little bit more red, and then we're going to start working with our bead. Our little bead. So there is all different kinds of these little red berries that you could get. So see, this is a little pick I saw. It doesn't all have to be like this. It can be lots of different kinds. Okay. All right. Let's use a little bit more of this. She's going to go sit with you, Daddy.
Oh, she's getting her toy.
Oh, she's getting her toy. I should have known. John's out here and Bella just runs to get her toy. She's like, oh, he's out. Let's get my toy. This one. Okay. All right, let's see. I want to put this red up here. I'll break up some of that natural. All right, let's put a little bit over here. Oh my goodness, you would think she was like tearing him up, wouldn't you? Alright, so we've got a lot of nice red and natural elements in it. Let's add some white in. And don't feel like just because you have a lot of supplies that you got to use them all. So you can see we have lots left over. So you want your wreath to be nice and full of details, but you don't want it to be overly done, right? Yeah, see, if you came in late, so we're using pine cones, and I don't know what I did. Oh, the little rattan balls. This all comes from Sims. And little berries, and now we're going to use the little bead. And I'll have to see if I can find a number for this, because neither one of these has one. So I'm going to cut it into several pieces so that we can kind of use it around. So one of the things that you want to do when you're doing wreaths like this is you want to have pieces that will move in the wind. Because if you do, like, let's say, so we've talked about if you don't want to do lives, you can do videos, right, of your products. And hey, if you go outside and your wreath is doing this and you do a little video on it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I need that. Alright, so we want to put some white where we have some red. So kind of right near it, and we want it to kind of come up and have this little, yeah, hold on. There we go. Okay, so I'm just putting it right next to where we have. So this is the bead. Do you see it? It's a little bead bush. This is my favorite thing from Sims. And so I'm just going to kind of go around and just kind of break up the red. You see how it starts to break up that red and add that white in? And then it's going to start drawing your eye around. Okay. Alrighty. Put a little bit down here. Don't be afraid to go outside the wreath's boundaries. Okay, and all these little things are going to be blowing in the wind. Okay? And people are going to be like, oh, I like that. Well, they might not sound like I did, but okay. Oh my goodness. She sounds so vicious, doesn't she? She's not, though. He just gets her all riled up. That's a man thing. That's a husband thing. I don't know. It's funny. She doesn't do that with me. Alright, so I'm just cutting it up into multiple pieces. See? So one little piece I get a whole bunch off of. I know, Johnny, that's scary. I mean, you just got out of the hospital. This stuff stresses you out. Okay, so we put a little white. We need to put... So wherever you see that there's a lot of red, just put a little bit of the white. You don't need a lot. But what it's going to do is it's going to draw attention to it, and it's going to start to make it its bead berry. Bead berry. I know it sounds weird, but that's what they call it. Alright, so let's put a little bit down here. There we go. Isn't it pretty? And it's just like, look at that. I love it. It's so funny because I spent the first, I don't know how many years, afraid to move outside the, or to have things sticking up. All of my wreaths were like smashed all together. Not anymore. Okay. Kind of right there. Alright, so wherever you see you think you need a little bit of white, don't be afraid to add it. And you don't really have to use a whole bunch of these things, you see? We haven't used a ton. So we've only used a couple of bushes. We didn't even use that much of it. Okay, we're going to put a little bit in the bow. Okay. Alright, so let's put some right back here. Alright. And we want that bow to just kind of stand up. What we can do is take some of our extra leaves that we pulled out and just put it right inside our bow. So you see how that starts to pull the wreath in with the bow? So let's see, I think I had another piece. Yes! Take this leaf and put it on the bottom. There. So now we have kind of the leaf inside our bow. So let's put a little bit more white here. I'm gonna put a little bit in here. We have an awful lot of red in there. Okay. Let's see. I think we need a little bit right here. Oh, Johnny, I'm so sorry. You just cannot get a break. You're in my prayers for sure. So let's put a little up here. And I want it to come up like this. So you see how this is coming up above the wreath? You see how much more dimension the wreath has when you put things that are just slightly above it. So don't be afraid to do that. Okay. We'll put a little bit over here. Break it up a little bit around this bow. So you see how that's looking? Let's put a little bit of this red. Ooh, no, let's use this. Okay. This has a nice long red piece that we can kind of put in the bow. And then we can put some coordinating white in there. Alright. Let's lay it out a little bit. Okay. So let's see. Let's put like the white over here. I was also afraid to put stuff in the bow. Don't be afraid to put stuff in the bow. It really does help bring the bow to life. And this is how you can make a simple bow a little bit more outstanding. You see? Alright, let's speed this up. Alright, so what are we thinking? See how easy that was? So then you just want to kind of hang it up somewhere and just make sure that there are no places that you need to add any more white or red. And I will tell you, so if you have a show, alright, so I have one coming up. So what I will do is I will take this, I will have this piece, I will have a centerpiece that's kind of similar, and I will have a swag or a big bow they could put on their tree. And I will have them kind of close together because it will really help sell it. Okay, so when you put this, so can you imagine this on a door? You see how everything kind of does the little dance? I know I'll be goofy, bud. I like it. Do y'all like it? You can do it, I promise. I believe in the power of prayer too. Yeah, see, isn't it pretty? And we do have a little bit of something kind of in the middle. It's hard to see, but you will see it. We might even want to put, see, look, so we did red, right? You could do white as well. You see how the white would look good in it? You could do any color scheme you wanted. So all you're doing is you're putting the leaves in it. So if you wanted to make a piece that matched, you could take some leaves from here and just stick them in. So if you made a bow, stick the leaves in. If you made a swag, if you made a centerpiece, you would just want to put some of what's in this into that piece. And that way they match. Hi, Ross. Awesome. So I'll be making lots of different stuff to take to the show because, you know, there's a lot of different taste. So you'll definitely be seeing some different stuff. I think next time we're going to do the garland, and I do have the joy planned, but I haven't found all the little pieces yet that I want to put in it. It would be great colors for a Christmas wedding, you're right. You could also do this in buffalo plaid, so it would look really pretty with buffalo plaid. You could do, so you can get, I don't think I brought my bags in. I didn't. They have these pine cones that are white, and you could put some white pine cones in around it. That would be adorable. They have these kind of little leaves with the beads on it. You can put some of that in, so that would bring some white in as well. I wanted to do this, but I just didn't have enough of it. So we had to go with a different option. Awesome! Yep, it is a juried show. It is the Junior League show in Columbia. Yep. So, I didn't get to do it last year because that's when Big Daddy passed away, but I'm going to be doing it this year. And it's huge. It has thousands of people come through. So, yep. Awesome. I hope y'all like this. I'm sorry we came on late. Ross has been pestering me to move his bed. So I guess that's what I'll be doing after this. Oh my gosh. So thank y'all for being patient and waiting. I wanted to make sure that Connie and Sue were able to finish their wreath. So, yeah. How'd your live go, Rita? Okay. Thank you. All right, y'all. Well, this was fun. I like this project. So, see, you can still tell it's an evergreen, but you can't see very much of the evergreen. It's pretty much covered with all of our stuff in it. And for something that doesn't have a ton of stuff in it, it looks like it does. So, absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, y'all have a wonderful night. And on Sunday, what are we going to do on Sunday? Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll do the little joy project on Sunday. Yeah! Let's do the joy project on Sunday. So on our Sunday Zoom, we'll do our joy project. I have to put something back here. And then next Thursday, I'm going to put a little bit of white back here. We can do the garland. That sounds good. How about we do that? Alright, so I put a little bit of white in back here just to break up some of this red. Okay? Alright, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. And I will see you guys on Sunday. And thank you for letting me move the day. I just had too many things all at once, and it was really getting to be a little bit too stressful. So thanks for y'all being understanding with that. Sunday, we do our Zoom call at 2 o'clock. So I will put the number in our group an hour before. Okay? Oh, Joy Project is this. So I have a grapevine, and it has 3 sections in it, and we're going to put the joy letters inside that and kind of decorate around it. We made a couple of bows while we were on Bow Sunday, so we're going to put these on them. So we'll do that on Sunday. That'll be fun. Awesome! Alright, well, y'all have a wonderful night, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye, y'all! Oh, and don't forget, the new wreath kit is out. And please don't forget to use your code GROUP, all capital letters, if you ever order one, okay? Okay, bye, y'all. See you later.